Hey everybody, this is Clint at Manskull 101. That's my Glock 34. As you can see, it's got a TRL 1 high lumen streamlight light on it. It's also got a Viper red dot on it. This is 9mm. This is the Glock 34. This is a factory race gun. I really like it, and I got it set up nice. And then also, very similarly, I have a Glock G20. Now this is 10mm. Have that same light on it. This is the Defender ST light, which is an evolution of the other Viper light. This is a 3 MOA light, and the other one's a 6 MOA, and I thought that was the right way to go. And I don't think it's the wrong way to go with the 6 MOA on a pistol, or maybe even a carbine. But now that I have both, I think the 3 MOA is my preference of the two, just because you can easily overpower the screen, for lack of a better term, the screen with that 6 MOA dot where the whole screen's red. And you, of course, you can turn it down, turn it down, turn it down, but on this, you can turn it up, turn it up, turn it up to where it's more than bright enough in any situation I've been in, as well as full broad daylight, and then turn it down in lower light situations. So anyway, I'm digging the 3 MOA. Like I say, I don't think 6 MOA dot is wrong, but I'm really digging this. So like I say, similarly set up, got the same light, got a red dot on it. This is in 10mm. So what I'm trying to do is I'm gonna make a chest holster. And yeah, I know you can buy them. Yeah, I know that. I've seen them. My son's got one. It's pretty cool. It's Kydex. Not that big of a fan of Kydex. I like working with leather. I like using leather and wearing leather. Not wearing leather. Don't get me started on that. That's not that kind of thing. It's not that kind of show. Anyways, you know what I mean. Using leather goods rather than plastic, or you can call it Kydex if you want. But so this is the beginning of that process. I've got a couple of rough patterns cut out. I did go ahead and run a row of stitching down this. Now, the first thing I do is cut out a rough pattern, right? And then I glue it. I glue it with leather glue, which is very strong stuff. It'll tear the leather trying to pull it apart. And not only do I glue it, but then I put a lot of weight on it. I'll hammer it, clamp it, and then hammer it again, and then put weight on it. And when I say weight, I mean one of these guys. That's a 25-pound block of lead that I use for various things. One of the things I use it for is to put some pressure on stuff. And that works really good. And then, once I've got it, roughly glued together, then I trim it up a little bit. And then I start sewing. And let me show you that. I've showed you a little bit of that before, but let's get back in there. Sorry about the camera work. Sorry about that light also. That's pretty obnoxious. So yeah, we got this Cowboy Outlaw sewing machine, which works really good. I think I'll throw a couple of stitches on there, if I can get you where you can see, because I don't think that's going to work. Let's try that. And I'll do some stitching on this side. As you can see, this is 8-ounce leather, and that's two ply of 8-ounce leather. This thing sews through that like it's not anything at all. So let's get her set up. Pull out some extra string. There. Got my bobbin line. All right, now I'm going to readjust this light. Hopefully that doesn't mess you up, so it will help me. And you squeeze this handle. Yep, you can see that good. And we're going to start going the wrong direction for about 4 stitches or so. Get out near the edge. Pull that good. Start about right there. Bobbin line and my main line. You want to keep a little tension on that when you get started. All right, let's give it a few strokes here. I got a tension on that line. You can see. Let's do it. Nice. Now I squeeze that. That pulls up the presser foot. start back in the next, not the first hole, but the second hole. I'm going to line that up a little bit where the needle goes through the same hole. Make sure my bobbin line is in a good area. Now we'll go right back in those same 4 holes and then keep on trucking all the way up this way. Alright, now we're trucking. Just crank it. Just keep cranking. Get it out by the edge, but not too close to the edge. This thing punches right through it like it's nothing, right? We'll stop about right. Do one more. Then we'll turn it around. Go back the other direction. Right back over the top of those. Yeah, I messed it up. Hold on a second. All right, so my first instinct is to always stop the video. So you guys don't see me messing up, but you know, sometimes it happens. So you got that on video, so do I now, so I can see what I did wrong. But anyway, I ended up breaking the string, so I need to rethread this. The only thing I really need to do is just thread the needle again. And I'll try real hard not to do that again. I think I'm all set up. I think that's the only problem I had there. Get a little extra string pulled through. I cut the strings off of the leather piece I was working with. So I need to go back to this top edge here. I'm going to stab it right back in the 1, 2, 3, 4th one down and go forward in those same holes and then back. So let's see if I can make that happen. I really do like this machine. It's new to me, so I'm still, you know, figuring things out a little bit. The one drawback is, like you can see right now, is that you only have one hand available to hold the material you're working with, where, you know, your other hand's busy. So that's a little bit of a drawback. But the great thing is if you're boondocking, camping, well, like I plan on doing a lot of, or just boondocking, not camping, but boondocking. So I don't want to run the generator every time I want to make a piece of leather goods. So this will work out. Anyways, so let's get back in there. So I stabbed it back in that same hole. Got a little tension on my twine. Hopefully we're off and running now. All right, now I need to pick that up. They say take the needle out. I'm not so sure, you know, pull the needle out of the material. I'm not so sure that's the move. So that is what they say to do. And for some reason I gotta try it my own way. You know how that is? Nope. Dang it, broke the line again. All right, I'm gonna put you on pause because you don't need to see this. Well, maybe you do, but dang it. It's a learning curve. For me, anyway. I have sewed one other piece together with this. Actually, that's not true. 2 other pieces together, and it went pretty well. Okay, let's get back over here. See if I can get any of this loose thread out of there. Like I say, my first instinct is to stop the video, but I'm trying not to this time. So let's get back in here. I think we're good. Bobbin thread still looks good. Well, maybe it is the right way to do it. You know, I gotta learn things the hard way sometimes. To back the needle out also. That's what they recommended. So, but like I say, I got to do things the hard way sometimes. Just like a lot of times I'll be doing some kind of project and I'm like, oh, I need a this and a that. So I'll make it instead of going and buying it. And that stuff's readily available. But, you know, and then I realize sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't have to make that. I can just go buy one. Yeah, well, some of that stuff's made in China, and I tried not to shop in China. How about you? You know, that's the way I feel about it. I am not a super political person, but I do believe in America first. You know, I think we all got to kind of look at that, protect our own way of life and values and that type of thing. So that's enough about that. Okay, let's try it again. See if I can not mess it up this time. Okay, now they say do that. Take the needle out, grab the clutch handle, spin her around, spin around, spin around, spin around. Go in not the first hole, but the second hole that you from the top that you created. Okay, let's see if we can get about. Oh, looks like it worked that time. There we go. That's a good 4 strokes. Pull this out of here. Cut it off. You know, I've been doing leather work for a few years, you know, kind of dabbling at it with some, you know, success. And, but I was hand drilling every single little hole for the stitching and then hand lacing it, which was super time consuming. What took me, you know, 15 minutes even messing it up here, 15 minutes would have taken me an hour and 15 minutes by hand. So this is a big deal. Anyway, so there's an example of the stitching. Hopefully you can see that. I'll clean, you know, you cut those off and then burn the ends. Anyway, that's the first step in the process of making a chest holster. For my, well, I call that 10 millimeter. I call that my go everywhere, do everything gun. I feel like it's pretty formidable. This light is ridiculously bright. This red dot works really well. 10 millimeter is a good choice for a lot of situations. Is there a perfect cartridge for every situation? I don't think so. But I feel like 10 millimeter with various loads. You guys probably saw some of my other videos that I was doing testing on the pork shoulder blade and jugs of water and blocks of ice and all that stuff. Man, for my money, that 180 hollow point at about 1150 is pretty formidable. 155 is ridiculous, but I feel like it's a little light for anything bigger than a deer or a man. Well, I mean, for deer and, you know, bad guys, it'll work great. Ridiculously, all kinds of foot-pounds of energy. But the 180 gives you almost as much visible hydrostatic shock and significantly more penetration. So I think that's the load. That's the load I like. It's about 1150 feet per second with a Hornady XTP. Shout out to Dean for donating some of those bullets to me. I appreciate that. It was yeah, a nice thing of him to do. Anyways, this is Clint at Manskull 101. Tune back in. I'll follow this up with another couple of 3 videos, however long it takes me to make this. I'm not fast at it, but they turn out pretty good. I've got, just while we're talking about it, I've got a holster here that I made, which turned out really good. And it's for my 1911. I'll show you that. All right, yeah, for my 1911, which is this old beauty right here, right? Good old standard government issue 1911. And it fits in this thing like a dream, like it was made for it. You know why? Because it was made for it. That's why. Let me get this up where you can see my ukulele face. Anyways, so, you know, I've made some holsters. This has, you know, the 2 slots on it where you can carry it like this on your belt, or more like that, or straight up and down. Anyways, I think they're pretty cool. They work pretty good. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. What do you think about all this stuff? You like seeing that? This is Clint at Manskull 101 signing out.